Hey, we're student journalists from World Journalism Preparatory School in Flushing, New York. And
Channel 1 News starts right now!
Thanks to those students from Flushing, New York. They have a lot to say about this election cycle. That's coming up. But first, it's the voters who will have a big say tonight in 5 states. Hundreds of delegates are up for grabs. And it's the final chance for Republicans trying to stop Donald Trump. It's so big, they're calling it Mega Tuesday. Voting taking place in Illinois, Missouri, Ohio, North Carolina, and the big one, Florida. For Republicans, it's winner take all. That means if Donald Trump wins the Sunshine State, he takes all the 99 delegates in the state. And the latest polls show him way ahead. Voting today follows a weekend of clashes between Trump supporters and protesters. Many turned violent. The Democrats and even Trump's fellow Republican opponents are blaming Trump for encouraging violence.
Donald Trump is literally inciting violence.
He is trafficking in hate.
Okay, punches being thrown, name calling. This is not a schoolyard brawl. This is our presidential election. So would it be okay in school? One group of teens say, no way. That's next.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
This is how you say, "It's going to be okay," to someone who just lost everything. Every 8 minutes, the Red Cross responds to a disaster and makes this promise. Help us keep it.
It's not just one person, it's a group, it's a team.
Just that simple act is transforming someone else's life.
It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
It's usually adults telling teens how to act. Stop bullying, name-calling, or fighting. Well, now we're turning the tables, as Asia Celestino talks to a group of student journalists from a high school in Flushing, New York, who share a passion for politics. They also share a passion for civility and getting rid of hate in the presidential election process.
Hillary is a great leader for America.
I support Brandon Sanders.
Trump 2016. I like Senator Ted Cruz.
We showed students from World Journalism Prep some clips from the candidates to see what they thought about their behavior on the campaign trail.
Here we go, the person. He is lying. So much.
It's a minor civil case.
Donald, learn not to interrupt.
There are many civil cases.
I have a policy question for you, sir.
Let's see if he answers it.
I will. Don't worry about it, Marco. Don't worry about it, Don't worry about it, little Marco.
Gentlemen. On the Republican side, and I'm a Republican, you see all these candidates. They're just attacking each other.
It's immature and kind of shocking.
It's actually separated people.
And they're not the only ones who have taken notice.
Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Donald Trump has made headlines with statements that both political analysts and the public have deemed insulting and offensive.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
The bullying, the greed, the absurd third-grade theatrics. He's not of the temperament of the kind of stable, thoughtful person we need as leader.
This is unacceptable. When you actually encourage people to act in an aggressive way, then you know that it's gone too far. And the problem that I have with all of this is that this is going to set home for events to go forward.
Time magazine's latest cover labels the Republican frontrunner as a bully.
Donald Trump is in himself a wall, and he's not coming down.
He is, of course, hurting people.
But the students think that the problem is about more than bullying, pushing the whole point of the election out of the picture.
If they can't even discuss the issues with someone in their own party, how are they going to be able to discuss anything with another country?
I would like to see arguments where something gets done, a solution comes out of it.
Mr. Nisanoff directs World Journalism Prep's Elections for Student Government. He says the campaign behavior brings challenges for young people.
We follow the New York City Department of Education guidelines, and those guidelines are very clear.
A lot of the language used in the debates would violate those guidelines, as well as the state's Dignity for All Students Act. And that's the case for many schools around the country.
We have to rise above that. And I think our students understand that and are in a position to differentiate now.
A confusing position when other candidates seem to have joined the attacks.
He is a con artist. Standing up for yourself is one thing, but being a better person about these issues, I feel, would be a better approach.
Joshua, you support Donald Trump. Do you think his behavior is appropriate?
Of course his behavior is not appropriate for politics. He's probably doing it because he knows that the Republicans don't want him. He said that he might go independent.
Adults who look at us and tell us, treat each other nicely, let people share their ideas, and to see that, it kind of shows, how are we supposed to act if our own candidates, the President of the United States isn't acting in the same light.
Why do you think that is, that students or young people are held to almost a different standard than adults, politicians?
People think we're not mature enough or that we can't be able to make the best decisions, but I do believe that students are ready.
Ready and thinking about the future, the students say that there's some positivity to teens weighing in on the campaign controversy on social media.
It's like a silver lining. It's showing that people are becoming more patriotic, and like I said before, that'll carry into the next generation.
I'm glad that we're excited about politics, but I don't want us just to be excited about politics because each of them are insulting each other. I want us to be interested because we want a way to improve our community.
Asia Celestino, Channel 1 News.
Thanks, Asia. Okay, coming up next, one teen gets up close and personal with the Syrian refugee crisis.
I never felt all that special. But in the wake of an earthquake, we can all do something. When donating goods, it's hard to know what's needed. So now it's my turn to help. Aid workers can spend me locally, where I can help save lives. Someone is doing better because of me. Together, we made that happen.
What up, kids? Hip Hop Public Health and Partnership for a Healthier America have produced an entire album just for you. Songs for a Healthier America. Download the album now for free at ahealthieramerica.org. Let's move.
I would tell my teachers, I can't see the board. She has had some struggles. If it wasn't for communities and schools, I would probably be failing most of my classes.
Help us change the picture for more than 1.3 million kids every year at communitiesandschools.org.
5 years ago today, the civil war began in the country of Syria. More than 250,000 people, mainly civilians, have lost their lives. And millions of Syrians have fled to neighboring countries and Europe to escape the growing violence. Many now live in refugee camps, where they struggle to find food, shelter, and a sense of a real home. Maggie Rulli meets one American teen who put himself in the shoes of a Syrian refugee.
A little face paint and a quick game of soccer is all it took to bring joy to these Syrian kids. But happiness can be hard to find in this refugee camp in Jordan, where about 80,000 Syrians are living in makeshift housing after fleeing the deadly civil war in their home country.
Refugees aren't allowed to work. They get their $21 a month for food. They have nothing constructive to do.
17-year-old Noah Kravitz from Washington, D.C., and more than a dozen other students were able to spend time with the refugees, and he talked to us about his experience. Did any of the refugees share their stories with you that made an impact and made you want to keep sharing them?
Some of them did. There was one little boy in particular. We asked him what he wanted most in the world.
So Ahmed, he's saying either send me to Syria because I want to study, because education is important, or let me go to school and study here in Jordan.
There aren't schools in the camps. There's not even really any opportunities for people to work in the camps. They're just like prisoners who haven't done anything wrong.
Noah traveled to Jordan, the program called the Experiment in International Living, a high school study abroad program that immerses students in different environments around the world that are facing major global issues. In the program, they live with a host family where they had to learn the local language, eat the same foods, and become familiar with the culture.
But to experience things firsthand and to be able to see what are people going through, what is life like in another place, having that empathy, having that ability to be able to understand other people's perspectives and to be able to understand very important and poignant issues around the world, that's something that we need in our leaders.
An estimated 11 million Syrians have fled their homes since rebel groups began waging war against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Much of the country is now a wasteland of destruction. And while many of the refugees have fled to Europe, some 600,000 refugees are living in the neighboring country of Jordan.
Jordan provides the land for the camps, but they don't have the resources to pay for food and clothes and everything else the refugees need.
According to the United Nations, it will take $8.4 billion to meet the urgent needs of the most vulnerable Syrians, but they have struggled to come up with the funds.
These are all my new friends.
And now that Noah is back in the U.S., he's also brought back a new appreciation for life and the lives of those living halfway around the world.
The biggest takeaway from the refugees was that they really wanted me to share their story and let people know about their situation.
Maggie Ruley, Channel 1 News.
And make sure to check out our impact page if you want to learn how to help out the Syrian refugees. All right, guys, that's it for today, but we'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Inside my car, I got pictures, got candy, I'm a lovable man, and I can take you to the nearest star.
Good morning, Shafer Sharks. I'm Taylor along with Skylar and Nyona. It's Tuesday, March 15th, Day A. Beware the Ides of March Day. On March 15th, 44 BCE, Julius Caesar was assassinated by a group of conspirators who believed that his death would lead to the restoration of the Roman Republic. Today is also known as the National Everything You Think Is Wrong Day, a day where decision-making should be avoided. And now would you please rise for the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag. For a moment of silence. Thank you. You may now be seated. Please listen to our morning announcements. Today's weather, cloudy today with a high of 62 degrees. For lunch today, chicken, buffalo, or mozzarella cheese pull-aparts, green beans, and marinara sauce for dessert, fresh fruit choice, along with your original healthy milk. Happy birthday to Sierra Morello, Joanne Contreras, and Joey Marconi, and Dev Patel, who celebrate their birthdays today. Let's hear that birthday song.
Happy, happy birthday to you. Happy, happy birthday to you. Will you bring us out and make your wishes come true? Happy, happy birthday to you. Happy, happy birthday to you.
The library is open today. I repeat, the library is open today. Today's Shark announcements. Baseball tryouts will start today for all 7th graders. 8th grade tryouts will be held tomorrow. We will meet in room 226 before each tryout. Tryouts will run from 3:10 to 5 o'clock. Be sure to have a completed sports physical in order to participate. Thanks, Coach Gordon and McCabe. Broad Street practice this week is today and Thursday after school at Shafer and Saturday morning at 9 a.m. at BHS. There will be a softball meeting today, March 15th. We will meet in Mr. Bostic's room 205. Interested girls will need a sports physical to attend tryouts on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Please bring your gloves for Tuesday. And now here's Skylar.
Attention Reading Olympics. We will be meeting in room 221 this Wednesday instead of the library. Please report to room 221 at the start of homeroom. If you have not turned in your t-shirt money, please do so.
Do you love learning how things work? Do you love to build things? Do you love engineering? Well, we have the club for you. Starting on March 15th, Ms. O'Hay and Mr. Grayson will be starting an engineering club after school on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sign-up sheets will be outside Ms. O'Hay's classroom, room 007. Please have all permission forms signed and brought back to her today. Thank you.
Do you sing, dance, play piano, jump rope, play drums, or have an amazing talent you want to share? The Shafer Talent Show is the place for you. It all happens on the last day of school. Be a part of our tradition. Start planning your acts. You can join as a soloist or group. More info to follow.
Attention 8th grade students who would like to attend the field trip to Washington, D.C. Your $50 payment is due to Miss Franklin in room 201 by April 15th. Also, chaperones are needed. Please see Miss Franklin if you have any questions.
Building Bridges will be here Wednesday for the 8th grade.
Shafer Spirit Night will be held Wednesday, March 16th from 6:30 to 7:30 at the Chamonix Mall, Barnes & Noble. Come out and see our orchestra, choir, and jump rope team perform, all while enjoying a blue and white frappuccino. There will also be a special appearance by author Tiffany Schmidt, so bring any copies of our book you would like signed. Remember, a percentage of everything purchased that entire week will come back to our school. Just be sure to tell the cashier you're from Shafer Middle School. All Shafer sports players, please come dressed in your Shafer athletic gear to show your pride. If you have any questions, please see Miss Bray.
That concludes the show for today. Make this day a good one. Keep it classy, stay beautiful.